Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark, and it's another 5-minute review. In today's review, we're going to be talking about the recently released in theaters Pixar film, Inside Out 2. It's a sequel to the 2015 animated film, and Inside Out is one of Pixar's best that they've ever done. And so I was very much interested in seeing if the sequel anyway lived up to the original. And I'm happy to report that I loved it. I went and saw it with my soon-to-be 15-year-old daughter, so there's a lot of parallels and similarities to Riley, the main character in the film, and my daughter, who suffers from anxiety disorder. She has severe anxiety and diagnosed OCD, and so this film really spoke to me. But what was way more cool is that it spoke to her. And after the movie was over, we were walking out to the car from the theater, and she goes, "Dad, I hope you realize that what we just watched is essentially me and everything that I go through on a day-to-day basis." And that hit me. It's because Dom or Dad, I know what she's going through. I live it too, but to have her identify right after the movie that character that she just watched is her. It's an embodiment of her and what she suffers through, and millions of teenagers suffer through, right? Adults suffer through it. And so my mic's really loud and I don't know what to do about it. But this film is directed by Kelsey Mann, and it is her directorial debut. And that was interesting for me to realize that, because Inside Out is a very loved Disney IP. And for them to entrust nearly 10 years later the sequel to a first-time director is it was a big risk, I think, and I think it does pay off. This film it builds on the first one. It introduces new emotions. There's certain cast members that didn't return from the original. Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling. From what I read, they didn't come back because Disney didn't want to pay them, or they didn't want to take what Disney was paying. And so, we got some new voices, but for the most part, voice acting is on par. Maya Hawke has anxiety, a new emotion, and anxiety is the villain-esque character here, but she's an anti-hero, I think. She thinks what she's doing is right, and she wants the best for Riley, and that's what these emotions are doing, is that they pick and choose what emotion to feel, and at certain times it's the wrong choice. And so anxiety deals with that for the most part of the film, and her character plays the villain, but essentially is not the villain. She's just kind of confused, and that's what anxiety is, right? It kind of just, it makes you feel a certain way where you think a certain way, and that's not really what's happening. And so I really, really enjoyed this. It's one of the rare Pixar sequels that hits all the beats. The plot is pretty straightforward. The OG characters have to go and save something and make a trek back to the Riley headquarters, and along the way they get just trials and tribulations, but there's nothing in this film that is as sad as what's his face, the imaginary friend guy, not Riley not believing him, he just disappears, and that was the saddest shit I've ever seen. But this film is a coming of age story, and it's so applicable to current teenagers, current generation, and it'll be applicable to future generations. That's what I love about it, is that this is a film that you can throw on 10 years from now when your kid's 13 and go, hey, that's kind of you. And the kid goes, hey, that's kind of me. So I highly recommend it. Give it a watch. Go see it in theaters. Go see it with your kids, man. And if you got a daughter, go see it with them. But what you should also do is hit the subscribe button when it pops up so you don't miss any future content right here on the podcast. And don't forget, the podcast releases weekly, every Thursday on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And let's flip it and reverse it. And if you want to follow the podcast on all your favorite social media platforms, we're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. So give us a like, follow, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.
Remember when we all finally came up to headquarters?
Nostalgia.
That was like 30 seconds ago, nostalgia.
Yeah, those were the days.